had to keep comparing the this Mortal Kombat to the Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, well, that's what I wanted to do because
Yeah,
it's kind of a remake. In fact, I was gonna
it,
pull it
it
up
is
here.
a well, it is kind of a remake.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you know the drill. It's a video game,
Yeah.
MMA fighter
Oh, I
seeks out
got
Earth's
that.
greatest champions. Blah blah blah
Oh
blah
yeah.
blah. Battle of the
Uh-huh.
universe. Stuff happens. People fight.
You
Um,
mean exactly the one that I did years
yes.
ago?
Oh, I found a YouTube video. I'll have to share it with you, but I found a YouTube video. This guy was saying that Mortal Kombat's the exact same story as the Bruce Lee movie, Enter the Dragon. I think
Enter the Dragon.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same
Yeah.
plot.
It's it's the same. It's the same plot as everything. You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
good guy, good guy wants to get laid and has to get in a fight to do it. I mean, story's eternal. Hello.
So I kept to well, my point was we watched the other one that you worked on. We talked about it. We had to
Yeah.
watch this one because it's a remake, kinda. And
Yeah, because there was.
what I liked about one thing I liked about this. There's only a couple things I really liked about this, but one thing I liked about this was how they kind of did like the prologue, like, oh, this is what happened back in 1617.
Yeah,
So
it's you know I didn't. Here's the thing, I am not at all interested in video games.
I wasn't interested in this game. If I had played it, I probably would care more. But
I'm not. I really I'm kind of interested in the choreography of Asian fight films. Certainly very interested in that. Um, I didn't.
well,
I
don't you think
didn't.
this was better? Like like
Yeah. Oh no. No. Here's the thing. I honestly, there's a step up all the way around.
fight wise, it's I don't think
Well,
acting wise.
here's
Maybe in some places
okay.
acting was
Wait.
a little rough.
Really rough.
This
I mean,
plot was a little rough.
how was it humanly possible that they could go out and find a blonde as untalented as the first one?
That
I
was
mean,
kind of what I was getting at. Yes.
I mean, really. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I have to say it out loud? Was I the one that was here? Hold on. I've got my nail. Got my hammer.
No, no, I
I
had the
mean,
same
was
thought.
that my job? Did you have to leave that up to me?
Okay, one thing I liked about this, it was a little faster paced. The set design was really boring, but like I mean,
That,
I could care less how.
here's the
Really,
thing. To a certain extent, the set design was kind of yeah, it was kind of boring, but it was also oh, in a strange way, it was more accessible. You know, it was more related. It was they did at least they had the opposite of the problem that I came in to fix on the first one.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
they absolutely used everything around them. The only thing is, like, half the things that were around them weren't around them because
yes,
they were CGI.
yeah.
You
It
know?
was very flat.
But at the same time,
They didn't have a Mick Strawn to do something that's over the top that would blow everybody's minds.
well, there was
Ah!
there was a constant mix of things. You know, here's the thing. I got this feeling that every set was a little piece of every other set. You know, there was hardly that feeling that you went from this place to that place to that place, and that this place had meaning, and this one, you know, I mean, the only place that had meaning was kind of like that trailer at the very beginning, right?
Yeah,
Which was,
yeah,
my God, you know, I mean, if you go into a trailer, please make it look at least only twice as big as the actual trailer, not 10 times as big as the actual
yes,
trailer.
yeah,
Holy crap. But at the same time, that was a place that, you know, it had a center to it, and it was like, you know, but then everything from then on had a sameness to it. It's like, look at the film behind you. The film that is behind you right now. it had you can't see anything.
I'm looking.
It has a center to it, you know.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? It
Right
really looks like
there.
something. Yeah, exactly.
of
Right
action
there.
right
That's her. Right there. There you go. So that's I kind of that was my problem with the production design. I did like the fact that the action did use things around it and stuff, but I didn't think the choreography was great.
Well, I thought the first like part of it was where they were back in 1617
Right.
Japan. That was pretty cool.
That was interesting. That
Yeah.
was interesting, but
Of course, I was expecting not much better than the first one, so
right. Well, yeah. See, that's and therein lies the rub, you know. I mean, you know,
I
the
was
funny
bored.
thing- it was boring. It was kind of boring. I have to say, it was. It really was. You know, when you got to the end, and the thing is there was just enough of that dumb blonde in there for you to go, oh man, this acting is almost horrible. Oh, there she is.
Well, there was that guy named Kano that I think they got the guy that had that eye thing, Kano,
Yeah.
I think, right?
Terrible.
He
I
was
mean,
supposed to be there for humor, I think, but he really got on my nerves, and I can't wait till this guy dies. No, so Black Smoke. I wrote down Black Smoke.
Yeah.
Because the Black Smoke looked like, okay, remember the
the
movie
new
The
thing.
Mummy? The Mummy
Right.
with Brendan Fraser?
Same-
It looked about
Oh,
the same
well,
quality.
well, here's the thing. The thing is that gets exponentially cheaper every time you use that particular Black Smoke. I'm sure, because it's a software program, and you know, when they used it on the Mummy, it cost $50,000 to get it developed. In Mortal Kombat, in this version of Mortal Kombat, they picked it up at 7-Eleven on the way into work.
Why can't they mix real with fake is what I always say, but whatever.
Yeah,
it's not a fight I want to battle. Not a battle I want to have.
Well, and the weird thing is they did that in the opening sequence, and you're right. It was well done. It was pretty well done. I don't think it was done by the same group that you know did the rest of it.
No, I think this movie looked like watching it. Looked like, oh, they started running out of money, and they're like, oh, well.
There was because look, you went all the way from the 16th century, to a well-appointed house that looked, historically correct, to a battle that was really well put out, to all the way at the end. It looked like Sub-Zero had essentially frozen a warehouse that nobody had been in for about 10 years. Right?
Yes, and it was probably.
and there is no doubt that is exactly what happened. You know? I don't mind that, but when they did the icing effects and stuff at the very end, it just seemed like it should have been a classier type of set, maybe close to. I know what it is it didn't have the center. It didn't have the center that they were doing the fight, that they had to do the fight in. Right.
I think more directors should be photographers, because then they would know how to frame a shot, like how to have. Well, they would be looking at it, going, "Okay, well, something needs to change here because the set looks off." Like, you know what I mean? They need to have that eye. And I'm not sure who directed this. I didn't look at it, but
yeah. But it's the thing is the production designer that needs to come in.
Simon McQuaid.
has to come in and say, "Look, I'm only going to take the sock out of the director's mouth."
Yes, that's a good point.
If you guys agree,
because the production designer is hired to have an eye and make it happen,
right? Yeah, and make
yes.
The thing is if your name is going to be on the film, then it isn't up there on the film along with a bunch of caveats.
Right.
How much would I have loved to have done Fantastic Four, and then it had like my name come out on film, and then I got a subtitle that said, "Oh, okay, we only spent."
Well, you were always listed third. You were always third in the credits, I think. Like Strays, for example. Always the third one.
I was the third one. Yeah.
Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo. I think you were the third one too.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe not.
Not on that one.
But the one right before the action start, I think, was you in Electric Boogaloo. I think.
Well,
my
usually
7-year-old, I just watched Electric Boogaloo like a couple weeks ago, just because it was on Netflix or somewhere. I saw it somewhere, so we started watching it.
God, I mean, is there a film that I worked on that people just would stop looking at?
Well, she loved the scene with the rotating. She liked the rotating room, but everything else she hated. She was like, "This movie sucks."
Yeah, well, it's really it's a strange thing, because I was just thinking, was I talking to you about the career of who was the DP for Nightmare on Elm Street? Jacques Haitkin.
Yeah, Haitkin. Yeah.
We were talking. I don't know if it was you that I was talking about, but I was talking with somebody, and I said, well, they're like a good example of. I think to myself that everybody has had a weird career that that people still remember parts of the films that they worked on, but then I look at Jacques Haitkin, and Jacques Haitkin literally. I mean, the guy must have done about 8 films a year, virtually from 1984 all the way up until like just recently, right? And up until just recently, you wouldn't know. I mean, he did Nightmare on Elm Street. He did Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Yeah. Well, he was doing second unit. Like he was on our show. Remember, he talked about doing second unit on Black Panther and Venom, I think it was.
Yeah, and you know what? And he actually talked about that. He says, "I'm actually getting some real jobs." And I thought to myself, "Yeah, well, I had a lot of, like I guess I would have thought of them at the time as being marginal jobs, but people remember goddamn one of them."
Exactly. Yeah.
How is that even possible?
Well, some ended up being kind of cult favorites, I think. Like, it's not like the most stellar film, but people love it.
Yeah, it could possibly be that I suck so bad.
Well, I was watching...
That I'm that guy.
Well, this last weekend, my wife and my kids and I were watching the Will Smith Aladdin. And I was thinking to myself, I think Kazam was better than this.
Wow, that's a rough touch point right there. Yeah, that really is.
I don't know. I just found Shaq more entertaining than Will Smith, I guess. I don't know.
Well, what was really weird is that the Will Smith that showed up for that film was kind of serious Will Smith.
Yeah.
And it really kind of bugged me. I was like, well, why was Goofy Gag? Why didn't you bring out Goofy Gag Independence Day?
Yeah.
Will Smith. No, but we get serious. We get like the serious, sort of like I Am a Lawyer from San Francisco Will Smith. We get that other Will Smith, we get the Living on the Streets Will Smith, and it's like, wow, man, that's you really you have too many Will Smiths to pick from, my friend.
Well, imagine if we would have got the serious Robin Williams on
the
first Aladdin.
You
rubbed the lamb.
You rubbed me the wrong way, motherfucker. Yeah. Could you rub the other side?
Actually, one of my favorite Robin Williams movie. I don't know why you said that. When you said you rubbed me the wrong way, I was thinking of that movie where he worked in the photo lab and he was. I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, I think.
But it was a good. I like that one. I can't remember what it was called, but it was
photo booth or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's his films kind of like went.
Very dark.
He went very, very experimental. After a while, and I don't think I really cared anymore. It's like there's somebody. Steve Martin went experimental, and I swore I wanted to see every piece of it. right? You know,
Yeah.
because some of the freaking places that Steve Martin took his career to, some of the films that he did, I was like, wow.
Well, Steve Martin's height for me
some
was in the
big
90s.
steel motherfucking
Yeah.
balls.
The 90s was the height for me for Steve Martin when he was doing LA Story and all those other movies.
Yeah, and then just past that,
Like
period,
Novocaine, is that what you're thinking of? Like,
I was thinking of like the one that he made where he took a whole bunch of 30s and 40s films.
oh yes, yeah, that I love that one.
I know.
He was a
I just,
detective or something.
yeah, it was a detective. Some dead men don't wear plaid.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, right. You know, and I was like, well, this is just so interesting. It was sort of like the stock footage film. It was
I think he stole the idea from Woody Allen, who was doing that looking for the egg salad recipe. Remember?
Yeah, but
well, no, I'm talking about before that. What's New Pussycat? Where he took all those.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
But Zelig, yeah, Zelig was awesome.
Yeah. Zelig was like the pinnacle of that, you know, and I gotta tell you, the thing is Zelig was seen by the guy that did what was the one with Forrest Gump.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know, I mean.
Oh, where you put him in the White House.
There was,
with Nixon.
there was like this sort of chain of a particular film, you know, that went that way, you know, and then it all wound up in MTK 3000. So
yes, yeah. Well, you know, that's not always a bad thing. So speaking of Mortal Kombat, did you like some of the gore? There was some actually pretty good gore.
Really, it was some great gore. I swear.
I was shocked.
Yeah, when they did the right down the. Man,
And there was a superhero landing in here too, by the way, which I really hated.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's a.
We're gonna start seeing superhero landings in romantic comedies. I'm gonna be really pissed off.
I gotta admit though, is that the gore that you're talking about?
The gore, yes.
Impressive. It was like you're sucking in a lot of things here, but it was pretty nice.
And then I was thinking that it's really beneficial for these characters because they got to wear a mask. I mean, during COVID, you get to play a character that wears a mask. How convenient is that?
It'd be great if, like, you know, at the pinnacle of the film, the guy rips his mask off and he has a mask on.
I have to say, I did like some of the sequences, like the way they choreographed it, even in the middle and toward the end a little bit, but not as much as the beginning. But I think this one is very forgettable, and there's
I give you that. It was, but I didn't think it was terrible. It's funny, as having been as associated with the with the original as I am. I've had everybody go,
"Oh man, it's like sucks because you weren't there."
No.
Well, the original has a special place in a lot of people's hearts, and I get it. I mean, I didn't really find it that great, but I enjoyed watching it. And this one, I want to forget about it, and I think I already have forgotten about it because I can't really give you any more details other than somebody had a hubcap on his head, but that's all I can remember.
Oh. You jogged my memory. I was going to say, yeah, you know that hubcap was you know, when they were done with that, they had to return that to Marvel.
That was a little too close to like Mel Brooks, like the hubcap thing.
I think it was too close to Captain America. I think that when they were done with filming, they had to bend it back in the middle. Hand it here.
Did you paint over my star?
What? Why would I do that? No, they would use water soluble paint.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because they're not allowed to use anything more that's going to last forever. So, they probably just rented it from a costume store and painted over it.
I'm gonna tell you a story about that. Painting things over.
It's story time with Mick. It's story time with Mick. Mick Strawn is the best. He is gonna blow your mind. Story time with Mick. Story time with Mick.
I was doing this this thing that I can't mention with and I was working with CJ and we were
CJ who?
My sister.
CJ. Oh, okay.
The-
I was like CJ Graham,
CJ,
CJ
my dead
Strawn,
sister.
CJ. Okay.
Dead sister.
Sorry, man.
My dead sister. My sister that isn't alive.
I didn't mean to interrupt your dead sister story. That's rude.
My life challenged sister. We were shooting on a stage in the valley, and I had another show going maybe about 2 miles away, and in the middle of the night they needed a stool, and my sister got attached to like virtually every piece of furniture that she would bring onto the set, and she just happened to bring on this blue stool that was like her favorite of all time. So I just grabbed the stool real quick because they needed it over on set, and I took it over there, and I picked it up in the morning, and when I did, it was red. And I was like, oh, well, that's a problem. Well, I'll work with. So we were working on this stage that was right next to a Mexican telenovela, right? They were in the stage next door. And we would come in, we would use the stage really, for about a week and a half and do all the little insert stuff and the strange things that we did and that I can't talk about and then so I get back on the stage in the morning and I beat her by about 10 minutes, and I was trying to find some paint so I could paint back the stool, but I didn't have enough time.
Wow.
She came in, I heard her coming, and the thing is she was a terrifying human being. She really was.
She had a temper?
Like, oh my God, she had a temper, and and for family in particular. I mean, she could be sweet to other people, but family, she did not give that. We didn't get that discount card, and so I didn't know. I literally didn't know what to do, and so I was painting it with one of the guys that was working with me, and he goes, "What are we gonna do?" Because he looked at me in fear panic. What are we gonna do? And I said, take the stool and put it in the middle of the telenovela stage, and I'm going to go stop my sister. So I did, and then we forgot.
Oh, no.
Left the stool on the telenovela stage, and she goes, and probably about an hour later, she goes, you guys know where my stool is? Anybody seen my stool? And we're like, oh, fuck. And I'm not kidding. 10 minutes later, she found it in the middle of the stage next door. And I swear to God, she took those motherfuckers apart. And he read them. And, she didn't like them anyway. She did not like working with the telenovela people, for, very Republican reasons.
Oh, okay. And she
catch
hated blue?
Yes.
And it's Democratic?
And she hated right, and boy, God. Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
Oh God. It just went on and on. And the great thing is the guy that I was working with held that against me for the rest of my life. I should say for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
It was like I had to be nice to him, or he would tell the story. He would tell who really put the stool on the other stage.
Well, how did it end up blue? Did somebody?
You got me.
I guess they
trust
needed it blue.
But trust me when I say, anything that goes in the hands of a prop man can come back in any shape whatsoever. Just
right.
they can return it to you, and it could look like they took 20 years off of its life, or that they put 30 years back on its life. You know, you just could never tell. So
Yeah. Well, that's an art form in itself, for sure.
well, you see, we're good at, we can lie to you in so many different ways. We can lie to you verbally. We could lie to you in the written word. We could lie to you, you know, by aging something. We just lied to everybody all the time.
Yeah, well, people pay you to
You
lie.
don't know,
So.
maybe I'm lying to you now. There's a really good chance of that.
I know. We're up to 306 episodes or something, and it's all been lies. I know it.
Somebody, I did a podcast today. I can't remember the name of it, but the guys were really, really sweet, and they were both Brits, right? And they go, well, tell us about Dream Warrior Review. How did that start? You guys are like up to about 305 episodes right now. I was like,
I know. We totally missed that milestone. Oh, by the way, we hit 300
by the way,
episodes.
we hit 300. Didn't even think about it. Didn't. It's like, I said,
we've
well,
even slowed
it's
down.
like,
We're not doing 2 a week now. We used to do 2 a week.
Yeah. I mean, getting to 300 plus is like that's pretty impressive.
It is.
It's like younger people should take a letter there.
Yes, it's all about stubbornness and being assholes because we don't want to quit yet.
Just be real jerks about it. Yeah.
Get off my lawn and listen to my podcast. I'm making myself sound older than I am, but
Yeah. Well, you look older than you are, so right.
I could be your young nephew.
You be my nephew? Fuck.
Well, I didn't want to say son because that could make me sound younger.
Now
I am
you
older
just-
than your
you-
son.
you-
No, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, he's an old man now. You
I know.
He's getting up there in years. So
Well, my rating for this is, I think I'm at a 2.1 or something. I wasn't that impressed.
it's a little bit better. Now I'm gonna.
I might have given it more because of the gore, but
Yeah, here's the thing. I have to go to 2.5 because I did not dislike it at all. I really didn't.
I just didn't care. I was indifferent.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, I was also judging it against. To tell you the truth, I mean, I'm not totally steeped in the Mortal Kombat world, and I worked on the first film. You know, I mean, literally the way that I was brought in and everything kind of precluded me from being totally involved.
You were
I mean,
an outsider, basically.
I was an outsider. I came in to fix something, but from that point of view, at least from a plumber's point of view, I have to say this ran down a hill.
Yeah, you were like the guy in Breaking Bad that came in to fix crime scenes.
So
it went down here. Can you please clean it up for us?
So in looking at this one, I have to say that it still ran downhill
Yes, yeah.
without any help. So that's something, right?
Do you know what I want to see? I'd be willing to watch Mortal Kombat again if they made a prequel, just all 1600s.
Yeah, and then you saw them go off to the battle.
Yeah, like
off
the
to
battle
game.
back then.
Yeah. See, I had this. I have a truly basic problem with it, and that problem is why is the basis of all humanity based on a bad game? I mean, I want to see reasons.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. There was no explanation, really.
It was like, just because you put the word outer world out there, that doesn't mean to me. I mean, it really doesn't. You know, outer world. God, outer world could be a bad airport that my dad used to land on when he was, when he had his private plane. He'd say, "Hey, man, get in the plane. We're going to outer world." And go, "Oh, great, another desert run." Jesus Christ.
Outer World is actually where my brain is all the time.
That could have been a little personal there. Might have slipped a little bit. You know, like
Whatever. Well, you told some good stories about your dad flying.
Yeah,
and stuff.
well, it's flying. Yeah, flying by the seat of his pants.
So I think we've wrapped this one up. I think we're done.
I think we have. I think
we
we're
probably
done.
talked too much about it.
Probably. But I think that we lost the thread a long time ago.
I think so. No, it was like a thread. I just started pulling on it.
Yeah.
Oh, it unraveled. Oh well.
Come on, came apart like a cheap Christmas sweater.